Hello, Oswego, and welcome to this edition of Oswego Takeover 2.0. I'm Dane.
And I'm Jenna.
Mitchell Trubisky is garbage. What a stupid pick by the Bears.
Are you okay, Dane? I don't really know what you're talking about right now.
I'm talking about the 2017 NFL Draft. Last week it was from Thursday to Saturday, and let's just say it got me pretty riled up. Luckily, Nate and I made a segment on it, so let's send it over to that.
Every year, the NFL Draft is an event where fans build up with angst about adding new players to their favorite team. It also gives guys a chance to play football at the highest level and silence any doubters they once had. This year, the 2017 NFL Draft was held in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. So, mostly there were Eagles fans at the draft. But they weren't the story. Quarterback Mitchell Trubisky, the Chicago Bears' first-round pick, was much to the disapproval of Bears fans. Chicago traded up only one spot to get him and gave away 3 picks. Just many Bears fans were in such disarray. I can't explain to you how mad Bears fans were, so let me show you.
Oh my God, no! No!
Yeah, they love that pick. Other teams traded up for quarterbacks as well, such as Patrick Mahomes to the Chiefs at number 10, and at number 12, Deshaun Watson to the Houston Texans. As for who went number 1, that was Myles Garrett to the Cleveland Browns. A defensive end off the edge, Garrett is super explosive with great hands and a nifty spin move. He should be effective for Cleveland for years to come. Other notable first-round picks are linebacker TJ Watt to the Pittsburgh Steelers and running back Christian McCaffrey to the Carolina Panthers. As always, there are late bloomers who are late-round picks that turn out to be superstars in the league. Prime examples are Antonio Brown of the Pittsburgh Steelers and Tom Brady of the New England Patriots. A couple of late-round picks to keep an eye on. Tight end Jake Butt out of Michigan, drafted in the 5th round by the Denver Broncos, and wide receiver out of Oklahoma, D.D. Westbrook, drafted in the 4th round by the Jacksonville Jaguars. And lastly, a little fun fact. 7 Alabama players were drafted in the first 2 rounds of this year's draft. That's all for Dane and Nate's 2017 NFL Draft Recap. Let's send it back to the anchors.
Wow, that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure my Pittsburgh Steelers will be in the driver's seat next year.
Well, speaking of driving, have you considered taking driver's ed this summer?
Yeah, actually I have. I've already drove a few times, like ran a few stop signs, drove 80 in the school zone.
I don't think that's a good thing. I think you might need driver's ed, so let's send it over to Alex, Joan, and Monica for their segment about it.
The Oswego High School will once again continue to host Oswego City's driver's education this summer. The counselors needed to get an understanding about the interest levels prior to committing to a schedule, so they held a pre-registration. The deadline was April 13th. Driver's Ed is a course of study that teaches the techniques of driving a vehicle, along with basic vehicle maintenance, safety precautions, and traffic regulations and laws. This program is made up of 2 sessions. Sessions are chosen by the students based on date of birth and grade. The first session will begin on July 3rd, and there will be no class the next day, as it is the 4th of July. The session will continue on the 5th and end on the 25th. The second session will begin on July 26th and will finish on August 16th. Both sessions are each a total of 16 school days. Each day, you will be required to attend 1 lecture and 1 drive. You will need to commit to every single class day, as there are no makeups. Make sure you know what you are getting yourself into. Before committing to this program, you will be asked to make sure your schedule is clear and there will be no conflicts. You will need to attend every day if you wish to get the completion certificate at the end of your session. We recently caught up with Mrs. Henderson for more information about this program.
Driver's Ed registration is going to be hopefully in the next week. When I get the paperwork set up, which I'm in the process of talking to Mr. McCaffrey, who's the teacher from Fulton who runs the classroom for Driver Ed. When I get the information from him, I'll send out an email when the registration period is. Hopefully the information will be in the next week or so, and it'll be due probably by the end of May. We will have a meeting in the beginning of June for summer Driver Ed, so the registration materials have to be in about a week before that. The classes run, it's going to start July 5th until July 26th, I think, and then the next class, there's 2 sessions. That's the first session. The second session will be July 27th to approximately August 16th, 17th, somewhere in there. You have to take the class every day, hour-and-a-half long class. This is last year's schedule. This is what I'm waiting for Mr. McCaffrey. I don't have the schedule yet. Last year's class was from 11 to 12:30 every day. So you can see you'll get a schedule like this. So the lecture was every day from 11 to 12:30. Then you have to also sign up for a drive time. You have also an hour-and-a-half of drive time. The times can be anywhere from 8 to 9:30. 9:30 to 11, 12:30 to 2, or 2 to 3:30. And I will know for sure when I hear from Mr. McCaffrey what the schedule will be for this summer. And you have to be 16 by July 1st. You should have a permit, and we have to have a copy of your permit. If you don't have a permit, you need to have a non-driver's ID that you also get from the DMV. So we will need a copy of one of those two things. So you have to be 16 by then, and that's it. And there also is a fee. You have to pay. Last year, or even this spring, it was, I think, $256. So I can't, again, well, actually, I think it will be the same, $256. When you pick up the registration packet, that information will all be in there. Benefits to driver ed is that you can drive after 9. You typically, I think you have to be 18 to drive after 9, but with driver ed, and it used to be called your blue card, you can drive when you're 17 after 9. There's also an insurance discount, which is especially important for males because their car insurance is very expensive, so that helps. This summer, we're going to try to accommodate everyone who wants driver ed. Hopefully there's not any confusion, because I had sent out an email to get a list of people who've signed up who are interested. That was not the registration period though, so that was just to see who was interested, and we had a lot of people, almost 80 people interested this summer. So we're going to try to accommodate everyone.
If you are interested in driver's ed, make sure you stop down to the guidance office to pick up your papers. Now let's send it back to Dane and Jen.
I'm gonna brake so hard that the other people in the car are gonna flop.
That doesn't even make sense, Dane. What do you mean flop?
Like in basketball and soccer, like a flop. Like that.
Okay, that was just awful.
Thanks, Jenna. Well, Martin, CJ, Devin, and Tyler made a segment on soccer flopping, so let's send it over to that.
In association to football, diving is an attempt by a player to gain an unfair advantage by falling to the ground and possibly faking an injury to give the impression that a foul has been committed. Dives are often used to exaggerate the amount of contact present in a challenge.
Flopping is it's a very useful tactic if you think about it, but it can also be like the worst thing ever. It can be your best friend or your worst nightmare. Honestly, you can get a penalty kick, just a penalty for your team, just to help you progress up the field or even score a goal, or it can be the exact opposite. It could completely backfire and you get called for it. But I wouldn't ask me because I hardly flop, and I don't really play a lot. I'm just on the team. Flopping isn't my stronghold. I would ask an expert or somebody who knows a lot more about the philosophy and science behind flopping.
Well, there's lots behind flopping, and I think that it's a very important skill that kids should learn from pre-K to kindergarten, first grade. Their coaches should be teaching them this because I think it's the most important part of this beautiful game that we have called soccer, or football in other countries. And I think diving and flopping, pretty much the same thing, and I think the art of flopping is just a beautiful thing. And when you flop, I think it's important that you grab your ankle. Doesn't matter which one. Sometimes you should switch it up, No matter where you got hit, always grab your ankle. Because your ankles are fragile, and the referees know that. So the referees will call it if you grab your ankle and roll, and you need to make a face. Like that. That helps you. You should definitely do that. And that's one of the scientific aspects of it, is when you go down, you grab your ankle, you make the face. You need to keep the face up, okay? Because if you don't have a convincing face, the referee's not going to call it. And I think that's very important, and the referee needs to call it. If you don't flop, you're going nowhere. And now the Chelsea youth team signed me. They said, your shot, it's good, right? You're a fast player, but you're kind of small. And I said, well, I can dive. And I showed them. I showed them that I could dive. And now look where I am. They signed me. They pay me weekly. It's a great thing. So I seriously think without diving, I would be nowhere today. You know, I've seen some of my teammates, start to flop more, which I like that. It's a good positive thing that's happening in the soccer world right now. More people are flopping, and more cards are given out, and I think that's a very positive thing. And actually, I've seen it in the high school too, where students are just flopping all over the place, and it's like, it's pretty funny to see. Like, they're watching my flopping videos and thinking, oh, that's something I can do too. And it makes me a really happy person to see that people are looking up to me and that I can be a positive influence to people in the high school.
That'll definitely help me out right there.
Probably not, Dane. You're pretty bad.
Whatever, but you know what I wish I could do right now, Jenna? Rack up Genos.
What do you mean Genos?
Well, recently the varsity lax team has been racking up a lot of Genos lately, so let's send it over to Nate Schultzke for a season recap for the boys varsity lacrosse team.
Hi, I'm Nathan Schultzke, and I'm going to give you a brief summary and recap on the boys varsity lacrosse team. I'll provide you with statistics and a season recap. Let's send it over to that. The Oswego High School boys varsity lacrosse team is off to a great start this season. With 15 seniors on a 26-man roster, the team is playing with confidence and experience. With an overall record of 6-4 and a division record of 3-1, the team is working hard and working together. On April 29th, the team played Cortland and won 17-12, therefore clinching a sectional playoff spot. Statistically, Trey Clark leads the team with 28 goals, followed by Dan Doviak with 18 goals, and Jack Rice with 15 goals. In overall points, Trey Clark leads the team with 36 points, followed by Dan Doviak with 28 points, and Jack Rice with 20 points. I caught up with Captain Derek Kohut to talk about the season and his expectations and his added roles as a captain, and I also caught up with Mark Schufnecker to talk about his future at Plattsburgh University to play lacrosse. Let's send it over to them.
I've been playing lacrosse for 12 years. I'm really excited. I've known the coach my whole life, and he gave me a chance, and the head coach liked me, so I committed the next day.
Yeah, as a captain, there are a lot of added responsibilities, worrying about how the guys are feeling on the team. If someone's got a problem, we try to fix it before it gets to the coaches. People leave stuff behind, we pick it up. We get everyone going before the game, we lead warm-ups. Those are a lot of the added things. I think the season's going pretty good so far. We have a winning record this year. That's something that was a goal that we wanted to have this year. And we have some quality wins too, like ESM and overtime. That was a real big thing. So, we got JD tomorrow. Hopefully we can take it to them and keep rolling and get to the Dome.
Congratulations, Mark Schufnecker, on your commitment to Plattsburgh to play lacrosse. That's motivation for others to work hard. Good luck to all players and good luck to all spring sports teams competing. Let's send it back to the anchors.
Thank you for tuning in this year for...
Wait, Dean, we're missing something.
This Week in Technology?
Right, how could I forget? Let's send it over to Austin, Griffin, and Nate for this week's edition of This Week in Technology.
Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of This Week in Technology. I'm your host, Austin Richardson, and I'm back with 3 new cool inventions I am so excited to tell you about. So, let's begin. The first thing on our list are for those that are interested in gaming. Say hello to Project Valerie, the world's first automatic triple display laptop, constructed to be incredibly powerful yet mobile. This revolutionary laptop gives you easy access to 3 eye-popping 4K displays. The 12K multiple display gives you expansive workspace and flexibility to tackle any task. Utilize the 3 displays as one span of your creative project across a large screen, or take advantage of each independently, running multiple applications simultaneously, allowing you for multitasking like never before. Regardless of where you are, you have the visual superiority of a 12K desktop setup to excel at yet both work and play. The next thing on our list is something called the Zungle Panther, which are bone-conducting speakers to transmit sound waves into your skull via vibrations. This lets you hear external sounds when listening to music, and therefore much safer than earphones and headphones, which completely block out sound from the outside. The Zungle Panthers can be paired with your smartphone via wireless Bluetooth. You can use all the music apps that you've been using before on your smartphone. Enjoy your music on your smartphone with Zungle Panthers and be safer outdoors. The last thing for today is a little device called Tracker R Bravo. What does it do? Well, have you ever been tired of losing your keys, your wallets, or maybe even your phone? Attach this coin-sized Tracker R Bravo to any item and use the Tracker R app to locate it in seconds. Ring your missing item or get a reminder to grab your item before leaving it behind. Lose your phone? Worry no more. Press the button on your Tracker R Bravo to ring your missing phone, even on silent. And if you're far away from your missing item, other Tracker Rs will locate it and show you on its last known location on the map. That's it for this edition of This Week in Technology. I'm your host, Oscar Richardson. As always, please make sure to tune in next week for the next edition of This Week in Technology.
Thank you for tuning in this year for another edition of Oswego Takeover 2.0.
Have a great week, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next year.